Hi, I'm Hélène from Dundas, Ontario, and the featured product this month at Upaya is smoked paprika. And it's actually the key ingredient in my recipe for barbecue kale chips. So, the kale chips, it's something that's very popular right now. You find it everywhere in health food stores and even in the main grocery stores. But they're pretty expensive, and usually there's some allergen products in there like nuts. And if you're like me and you have a lot of allergies and sensitivities, it's difficult to find things that we can eat. So this recipe is free of the top 10 allergens and it's delicious. So even my husband loves them. Everyone loves them that I've given them to. So here it is, and I hope you will be as successful with them as I am over here. So the first thing is to put in 1 cup of water into the blender. So basically we're making the sauce first, and then we'll mix the sauce with the kale. After that, you take about 4 or 5 dates, put them in here. The juice of 1 lemon, a 1/4 cup of apple cider vinegar, a 1/4 cup of sun-dried tomatoes. Now, home dehydrated tomatoes are much better. We're out this year, so I ended up buying these from the store, but if you can dehydrate your own tomatoes and use those, the taste will be phenomenal. A 1/4 cup of pumpkin seeds or sunflower seeds, and you can buy either at Upaya as well. I like to soak them for about an hour or 2 before using them. However, if you're in a rush to get your barbecue kale chips, then don't soak them, just put them in the blender. So if you soak them, you have to make sure you drain them afterwards. Red onion is also critical in this recipe. So if you have dehydrated red onions at home, I highly recommend about a tablespoon. If you don't, use about a 1/4 cup of red onion. And we like red onions, so it's a little bit more. Some garlic, so 1 or 2 cloves of garlic with some salt and pepper. So that's what's in my little container over here. And then the key part, the spices and chia seeds. Chia seeds, 2 tablespoons. And 1 tablespoon of regular paprika. Now this one is sweeter paprika. This is not the spicy paprika. So if you like spicy paprika, maybe you'll want to start with less than a tablespoon. And the featured ingredient, which is smoked paprika, so 1 tablespoon of that. That's going to give the smoky taste to the barbecue kale chips. And the final key ingredient in this recipe, which is not the featured product of the month, but it is also available at Upaya, which is smoked, well, it's not smoked, but it tastes like smoke. It's chipotle chili pepper powder. So you can buy this at Upaya, and it along with the smoked paprika, really nice. So from here, you've got all of the ingredients for the sauce in the Vitamix. So you close it up well, and we're going to blend this to make the sauce. Once you're done with your sauce, you can see it's really thick. This is really thick. You're going to mix this with pre-washed kale that you've done, and you've removed the center stem. And what you do is that you pour the sauce in there. Now you're going to see it's really thick. See that? I'm going to get a spatula to get all of the goodness out. So once you have everything out from your blender, you need to massage your kale. So from here, you take your hands, and this is going to get really messy. And your kale does not need to be ripped in small pieces. I mean, you just rip it off from the center stem, and you can leave really large pieces. I'm going to show you like this. Because then when that dehydrates, that makes for a nice big chip, and it's really nice and good. So now the volume of the kale is really decreasing here in this bowl. That's what happens when you massage it. And you want to make sure that the sauce gets everywhere onto those kale leaves. The best kale to use for making these kale chips is the curly kale, not the flat leaf kale like the lancenato kale. All right. Making kale chips is so much fun. So you'll need one hand. So what you do with your kale chips next is you take your kale and you put that on your dehydrator sheet. And you spread it nicely. You want to make sure that it's going to dehydrate well. So this will probably do about 2 to 3 trays, maybe a little bit more depending on how you spread it on the tray. And I used a regular bunch of kale. It would be like a regular bunch of kale from the store, but really I was lucky. This kale is in part from my sister-in-law's garden, so thank you, sis. And another part of it came from another neighbor friend, one of my swimming buddies. So thank you, my little dolphin. And if you're lucky, you'll get kale like that from your friends, and that's it. So you put this in the dehydrator at 115 for about 3 hours. You may have to look at it and see if it's ready or not, because there's a lot of sauce on the kale. It may take a little longer, so maybe another hour or 2. The problem with this is that the sauce is so good on the kale that it's difficult to leave them in the dehydrator for that long without going in there and eating it all up. So what does the final result look like? It looks like this. It's really nice and crunchy, and it's delicious. So thank you Bea, for having these great products. This is delicious, and I hope everyone at home, you'll have a successful batch of kale chips right from the get-go. These are barbecue kale chips. My name is Hélène from Dundas, Ontario, and thank you.